Welcome back. So today I'm going to talk about X-Men Monday. Gonna start off with X-Men, then Excalibur, X-Men again, and Wonder Woman. Gonna start off with Uncanny X-Men issue 314 from 1994. So in the previous issue, Emma Frost basically possessed Iceman's body. So she could control the entire body, but she was obviously very disoriented as she had been in a coma for some months or years, not really sure. Anyway, she basically went out to find out what happened to the Hellions, her students, that she actually did care a lot about. So she actually managed to unleash Iceman's power potential almost to the maximum. I mean, obviously he's a lot more powerful than we have previously seen. So she basically got to her headquarters that's basically been run down. Well, not exactly run down, but unoperative basically. Anyway, she managed to get in there, fight some of her own guards, and then look at the computers and see that they were in fact dead. And she of course blamed herself, as she was supposed to be their protector and their mentor, but when she basically were faced with the guards coming along, she basically just told them to kill her. She deserves it. However, Professor X and Banshee came along, freezing the soldiers, the whole mind thing that Professor X can do, and then she basically went along with them. So we will find out more about this in another issue, I believe. Okay, so gonna go over to Excalibur issue 78 from 1994. So in the previous issue, Zero met Douglock out in the forest. A forest anyway. Anyway, so basically Zero had been able to drag Douglock out of the Phalanx, as Douglock had been inside Phalanx before. Douglock is naturally the part of Cypher, Douglas Ramsey, and Warlock basically being fused into one. However, this kind of fusing thing basically made Douglock not knowing who he actually was anymore. So Zero was trying to break through the Phalanx protocol in Douglock, and while he was doing this, 3 of the Excalibur members, Britannic, Megan, and Shadowcat, had basically gone to the same forest as Britannic had been compelled to go there because something very, very important was happening. He basically sensed that it was something to do with basically the entire future. So these 3 basically looks for whatever this is. He doesn't even know exactly what it is he's looking for, but while this happens, Zero managed to kind of break through the protocol by basically showing Douglock about Cypher's death, how he basically sacrificed himself many years ago for Shadowcat. Directly after this, a family who actually was camping in the forest is attacked by some strife droids, basically looking for Zero. So naturally Zero and Douglock fights these droids. During the fight, Excalibur joins the fight, and they basically realize that, holy crap, that's kind of Cypher. Kind of. Douglock? Yeah, you know. They are, however, run over by androids, so more on this in the next issue. So we're gonna go back in time now to 1966. This is X-Men issue 23. It continues the previous issue where Count Nefaria, of course, had captured the X-Men to basically use them to get some ransom for the Washington city. So Count Nefaria basically domed off Washington from the rest of the world with this very special high-tech dome of his. The X-Men kind of broke out, but got a message from Professor X, who actually managed to find them mentally, and he basically told them to continue with his plan, and I will take care of the rest. So naturally, the X-Men went along with getting the ransom from the city, so they were inside the dome and got the ransom and all that, no problem, but were attacked by some civilians, and then the other supervillains actually, that Count Nefaria had enlisted, Porcupine, Eel, Plant Man, Scarecrow, and Unicorn, first started to help the X-Men, but then decided to bring the ransom to Nefaria themselves. The X-Men naturally decided to take it themselves, so they basically fought the villains while the army actually arrived to fight them as well. So there's a lot of fighting, shooting, army versus X-Men, and X-Men versus, the X-Men managed to get through all this, managed to bring the ransom to Count Nefaria. And then this mysterious mysterious man, basically shows up to fiddle around a little bit with the computers, and turned out that was Professor X, who apparently could walk now, and basically tricked Count Nefaria. Nefaria escaped with the briefcase, the ransom, which turned out not to be actually a ransom itself, but it was basically just an illusion. So Count Nefaria was tricked, but he did manage to get away. Okay, so over to DC now. From 1988, this is Wonder Woman Volume 2, Issue 25. So this is, of course, part of the whole invasion thing that was happening at the time. Alien invaders, basically. So Etta Candy, who obviously is a close friend to Wonder Woman, had some decoded strange signals in a kind of file, basically. But she was trapped by invaders in Fiji. And now to Wonder Woman, who is at Themyscira. Basically, she fought some invaders over Themyscira, and then she needed to find out what the hell was going on. So she basically went to the Justice League International to learn about the whole situation. She learned that Etta was in big danger, so she, Red Rocket, and the Green Lantern called Guy Gardner basically went there to find her and save her, which they did eventually. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. This is of course Marvel's and DC's creations. I'm only telling the story. Stay safe.